Happy Wednesday, January 14th. I think it's been a full year since we've been making these videos. I think around last time, January, I was in Silver Lake in my studio moving out to this future that I had no idea what was in store for me. And I mean, currently right now I don't know what's in store for me too. Like my future is so uncertain again. So in that sense, I feel like I haven't changed, but I think that has changed about me is my communication has definitely improved. I am very vocal about the things that I want and the things that I don't want. I'm slowly but surely going after the things that I think are right for me and are healthy for me, which I didn't do before. So I feel like I am in somewhat of a same place, but a little bit better. Like I feel like I've moved just like a tiny bit step up with my life, which doesn't seem a lot much to me, but I think it's been a lot of changes, like a lot of good changes at least. I was reflecting and just looking back at my journals from last year, and that that poor boy in those journals just did not know what he wanted in his life. And I mean, I'm kind of still in the same boat if I don't know what I want, but I have a idea of what I want, so I'm heading in that direction. But reading back on my journals has been very eye-opening. I think the eye-opening part was I somehow always find a way to just make it through. I always make things happen. And time again, I just have to keep reminding that things will always work out, even when it seems like the whole world is just burning and crashing. So I just have to keep reminding myself that things will work out. Maybe not in my favor, but still, it'll help. Life will help me chug along to its best ability. The one thing I did notice about last year in my journals was I just didn't go to a lot of events, a lot of things. I didn't really experience life how I wanted to experience it. And so I'm gonna try to do that this year. I think this year I'm gonna try to make more goals. Maybe some that are achievable and some that are unseemingly achievable, something that just like makes me afraid to even achieve. So last year I did make a mood board, but I didn't really achieve any of the things that I made on my mood board because I think they were just general ideas. I think they were for decoration, to be honest. I truly think I just had them to be like, to show people, be like, look, I made a mood board. But I don't think it was very realistic in a sense because I didn't really take any steps to achieve any of them. And I think that was a fault of mine when I made the mood board. And so I've already made my mood board for 2026, and I think I've limited it down to only like a few things max, like 2 or 3 things max. And I'm gonna see how that goes because I really, really want to achieve some of the things on my mood board. I'm not gonna share them because I feel like sharing them will make me think that I already achieved them when I haven't really achieved them yet. But I think the difference for this time around is I'm gonna make smaller goals to achieve those mood board bigger goals. So at least the mood board acts as a kind of reminder of what I want, and I'm just taking steps to actually get to my mood board. I'm failing forward. I'm falling forward. According to Olivia Dean, I'm falling forward. And so I feel good about that. I feel good about that discovery, I guess, or I feel good about that change in achieving of what I want. I've deleted all my dating apps and the orange app and the blue app because I feel like whenever I'm on them, I lose a lot of self-confidence and I lose a lot of... I feel like it's very humiliating to be on those apps and just keep getting no answers and getting rejections, and I feel like for me, it just does not work for my soul, or doesn't work for me as a whole. As much as I'd love to be on those apps and just get a lot of attention, I'm just not getting that, and which is fine because I don't think that's the attention I want from in my life. I think the attention that I'm seeking from are people that actually want to choose me and that want to spend time with me, and not as a obligation or more of like a one-time thing. And I was just journaling about this the other night, and I'm like, I just kind of have to choose better for myself, And the things that don't make me feel good, I just kind of have to let go. And so that's what I'm doing, letting go of those apps. Those apps make me feel very depressed, and I am not down for that. I am a bad bitch, and I'm not down for those apps to make me feel like that I'm not a bad bitch. And so we're gonna somehow find another way to meet more people, and that is not through the apps. And I have no idea what that idea is and what that looks like, but the apps I can't do. At least for now, the apps I can't do. It's just very frustrating. Every time I go on those apps, it's just like, I feel like I'm talking in circles and I'm talking to a wall, and I'm just like, oh my god, people. So now that I have deleted all these apps that I've kind of just been pouring my time and energy into, I have all this energy that I need to use somewhere else, and I think I'm gonna pour it back into myself. I think to do that, I think I need to start doing more physical activity again, kind of really focusing on my physical health. And then I think I'm gonna all that energy back into just creative projects for myself and just learning. Because what I realized last week alone, the universe, you know what, let me preface this. Last week, I think it was last Wednesday, the universe heard my plea that I wanted change. Remember last week I was talking about change, and I wanted changes to come into my life? The universe acted right away. The universe said, you're gonna get that change right here, right now. So I got a customer at my work, and she was really testing my kindness a bit. She was just using me to the point where all my coworkers were like, I don't know why you did all of that. Like, you're just being too nice. You have to kind of bring the manager in. Because she was, in a sense, just making me go back and forth for just the smallest things possible for her comfort. Literally, because she was not connecting with the food. It's a whole ordeal. And that experience just made me open up my eyes to be like, oh my god, I don't really respect myself in a way. I just don't have any boundaries for myself, is what I realized. So I was journaling again. I'm like, because I don't have any boundaries. And then, so I was looking up, I'm like, how do you make boundaries for oneself? And I think one of it was talking about, what are your core values and beliefs? And I was like, what's a core value? I didn't know what a core value was. And so I was just like, what is a core value? And I think I realized the reason why I've been single for so long is that the universe has been basically protecting me and has been saying, look, you just gotta take a lot more time for yourself. You gotta figure out your core values. You gotta figure out your beliefs. You gotta figure out your boundaries. And then we'll see what happens afterwards. And so I've been taking some time to figure out my core values and my boundaries. I think I have 2 max right now. 2 core values max and 1 boundary that I've written down. And I think I need to keep writing them down so I can be like, right, this is my core value and this is my boundary. They're very small habits and very small changes that I've kind of built for myself, but I feel they're very healthy habits and healthy changes that I'm starting to make. I feel like this is it's like a very small snowball at the top of a mountain and slowly starting to roll into a bigger snowball. I'll probably by the end of this year I'll have a ton of core values, or at least main core values, and then from those core values will be smaller values. I'm for some reason thinking of it as the Inside Out movie where Riley had all those amusement parks of her core memories. I think I'm associating the core memories as core values. So I have a few core values here, and then from those core values I'm just gonna go more deeper so that at the end of the day, when I'm always by myself in bed and I'm focusing on myself, I'll have those core values to always to go back on. I'm taking this time to learn more things about myself, and they're very simple stuff like core value, my belief system, what I believe is right and wrong, what are the things that I allow in my life, and what do I allow myself to spend time on. I feel like they're very small ideas that I kind of glossed over for most of my 20s. I didn't really dive deep into what those meant because I think most of those core values and all those things have been attached to my religion when I was a devoted Christian boy. And so I didn't really think about it, but once I became an undevoted Christian boy, my core values and everything else was kind of just out. just everywhere, just not really cleaned up and just kind of just floating everywhere. So I think it's a good step that I'm kind of like collecting all my core values and what things mean to me, what I cherish, and what I find important, so that when I do hit my 30s, I'll have somewhat of a foundation for myself that I built for myself, which no one's told me to do and no one's really kind of like pushed me to follow or to like believe in. So I don't know. These are very good changes. I am just nervous because it's just like it's gonna be a learning process for me of like what works and what doesn't work. And for me, the way I learn is through my mistakes, and so it'll be a very lot of trial and error in this process, but I'm happy to go through with it if I can build a foundation for myself. I think also another thing that I want to really work on for this upcoming year is the way I express myself. I feel like I express myself very straightforward. Like there's no really storytelling, there's no really metaphors. I'm very just straight to my word. But I want to kind of practice giving more of a poetic expression of what I'm trying to say. So currently I'm watching Drag Race, and there are some queens that have been just reading other queens, but the way they read them is very poetic and it's very graceful and it's very elegant. I'm just like the wording that they use and the words that they use and the delivery of how they say those words it's so cool to see. And I'm like, I think I want to work on how I say things and how I deliver my sentences and how I share my story. And so I think that's what I'm going to try to work on for this upcoming year. I kind of want to be someone who brings metaphor into what I say and kind of like build a story as I'm telling something, because I'm not really great at that yet. But I feel like I can be great in that area of just giving more oomph and giving more flavors to my expressions and sentences, and that's what I really want to achieve. I've been using a lot of like, yes mother, or you ate that up, or you slayed. And as much as I love using those words to just describe how I feel like I need to expand more on those words. Like I don't know, see, like my brain falters and I want to express myself even more past slay, past mother, past just all those like one-worded things. And I'm not saying those one-worded expressions are bad. I just feel like I need other tools of expression to express myself. I'll probably still say those things of slay, mother, you ate, all those terminologies that I picked up along the way. But I don't know, I kind of just want to expand more of my vocabulary in that sense. And so I have all these fun little goals that I'm slowly setting up for myself. I'm still setting them up because I'm kind of trying to transfer my celebration of a new year with the same time as spring. I've been reading that celebrating New Year in January is not ideal. It's like you want to be celebrating your New Year's and your goals when spring arrives, because spring is pretty much like the birth of new things. Like that's when flowers bloom, that's when the weather gets warmer. Celebrating all of those like new goals and new achievements still in winter in January is not ideal. Like that's still, you're still technically, things are still dormant. Like animals are in hibernation, it is still freaking cold outside. It's not an ideal situation to celebrate your new year. And so what I'm doing right now is I'm reflecting while I still have the time. Like spring has not arrived yet, so I'm still reflecting on what worked for me last year, what didn't work for me last year, and from those two, just implementing my new goals and my new dreams, or maybe updated goals and updated dreams for this upcoming spring. By the time spring arrives, I'll be ready, I'll be prepped, I'll have my tools to just plant new seeds, or if I need to like cut some things out of my life. And so that's what I'm doing. I think I'm just prepping right now, and I'm glad I got here, because I am in desperate need of a trim, a mental life trim and a hair trim. But that was a very long ramble, but I'm proud of my ramble, and you're gonna take all my ramble. I'll see everyone next week. Next week is gonna be a little bit of a interesting video, because next week will be my 1 year of being spring, my full name change. And so I think that I'm gonna try to plan a little bit more. Usually these videos I kind of just sit down and be like, what am I gonna talk today? Or talk about today, and just go from there. But I think I'm gonna plan my next video a bit more. Just the experience of going through a name change, of giving yourself a name that you really like, and just the community you've built around that. So that'll be for next week. Bye.